Right now, are you in fear? Right now. Every moment of your life you're in fear? No.
You will overcome that fear. But the hard part is, you gotta take that first step.
I am deeply motivated by fear.
There are a lot of people who are biting their fingers in fear that they might lose their jobs. But there are few people who have decided within themselves, I'm going to make it. Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some people are moving on their own because they feel within themselves, I've got what it takes to make it. They're not afraid about tomorrow because of how they see themselves, because of what they feel that they deserve, because of what they feel that they can create for themselves. Because these people have decided, as they look at the future, as they look at themselves, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way for me to begin to create a way out of no way. And when you have that kind of consciousness, when you have that kind of spirit, nothing can stop you.
Words determine the way you think determine the way you feel. If you feel depressed, you got to back up and find out what you're thinking about. Because thoughts of heaviness and depression determine how you feel. So how a man thinks in his soul, how a man thinks in his mind determines how his life will work out.
So the renewing of your mind will help you transform your life.
It's not going to be easy. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, you've got to make it your personal business to make it happen.
How many times have you looked at your life and said, man, if only I knew then what I know now, I live my life so differently, so is it not possible then that the life you are living now, you would be living differently if you began to develop an awareness that you do not currently have? Well, guess what? The only way for you to develop knowledge and awareness is to try things you have not yet tried, to do things you have not yet done, to create things you have not yet created, to go to places you have not yet explored. This is how you grow.
As you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it, step toward it. So if it's hard, then do it hard.
There's a lot of fear, but I understand what the emotion of fear is. It's a subconscious trigger that causes this feeling that I don't like, and it's a go signal for me, not a stop signal for me.
Everybody doesn't win. And the sooner you wake up to that biology is ruthless, man, then you get a little fear in you. And when you get a little fear in you, start listening. Because if you're truly afraid, you listen. Let a little fear come in and drive you and motivate you.
So I went to the next mode necessary to start talking to people and seeking and asking for what I wanted and leveraging relationships and trying to find out how do the people do it that went ahead of me? How do they do it? And then what is it I need to do? How is it I need to train myself, to develop myself? What's the resources that will be required in order to make it happen? And as I start seeking out and asking questions, I started running into people who said, I know someone who can help you do that. And they helped me get connected with those people. Remember, we have so much energy that can take us so far. It's necessary that you hook up with some other energy that can take you to the next level. I hooked up with them. They said, let's go. I said, away we go. As you focus on that which you want to do, that which we focus on, that which we give our energy to, it will begin to multiply. It will begin to expand. It will begin to develop your consciousness. And out of that comes your greatness. Out of that comes a commitment. Out of that comes a passion for life. Out of that comes a special power that you have in you that you haven't even called on yet. See, the powers that we have will never reveal themselves if we don't challenge them, if we don't put ourselves in a position where we have to use them. So one of the most important things is reading a book that's a really interesting book called Instant Millionaire, and the guy said, put yourself in a position where you can't retreat, where it's do or die, sink or swim. Here's what you'll find out. You'll develop incredible swimming skills. You'll find yourself stroking unlike you've ever seen before. Through the inspiration of desperation, you'll become more creative than ever before.
Don't make a permanent decision over a temporary circumstance. Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But he warns us and declares to us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Steps. Now, the term steps implies process. Means it's going to take a while. Means that you can't get to the destination just because you want it, just because you saw it, just because you like it, just because you need it.
Number one, I want you to never be afraid to make a decision. Be decisive. Don't be afraid to fail. Be fearless. Number two, I want you to remember the power of you. You gotta feel that power. You gotta believe in that power. You have that power, trust me. And last but not least, number three, can't stop, won't stop.
You have to act on your passion. You have to act on your inner drive. Don't let those feelings stay inside of you. You gotta know what to do with them. You gotta know how to make them work in order to get what you want. Don't keep it inside.
Prayer is great. Contemplation is great. But if you don't take action, 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 all the rest is wasted.
So when you figure out your passion and you get really good at it, you're going to become successful. But you're only going to be happy when you use that success to help other people. And then you've got to figure out that link to purpose. So you're going to find your purpose. So when you realize, hey, I'm really good at this, I love it, I get a lot of happiness from doing it, when you start using that to make a difference in other people's lives in any way, it automatically switches into a purpose. So you don't need to find your purpose. It's just an automatic evolution of finding your passion and being really good at it. And that's where we're messing up, that we haven't found something we love, and we haven't found something that we love that we've got really good at. So what we usually do with our lives is we do things that we're not good at and don't love, right? Or we do things that we're good at but don't love. And we need to switch into the spaces of things that we love but are not good at and get really good at them, and start finding out things that you are good at and you do love.
Follow your passion and not chase money. And you'll hear people say that and it doesn't make sense because they think like, it sounds like such a abstract thing, like follow your passion. You know, it's like this like a positive thinking mantra or whatever. But the reality is that business is really, 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 really hard. And if you're in business and you're doing it just for the money and you're not doing it because you really care, what's going to happen is when things get tough, it's going to be easy for you to quit because the money is not enough reward. You know, it has to come down to doing something that you're passionate about, something that you love, something that you want to get up and do every day, because that way when you're not making money and the money's not there, you still do it anyway and you get better anyway. So it makes it easier for you to continue to get better and improve, which is what's required for you to ultimately reach the goal. So I really think that following a passion is a requirement of being successful, for the simple fact that it makes it almost impossible to quit. You know, so try to figure out what it is you're passionate about, what it is that you enjoy, and you're going to naturally become better. You're going to naturally endure the times of when it's hard because you love it.
The thing about self-discipline is that it is necessary for everything you do in your life. You have to be self-disciplined.
What I've discovered, however, is that While all of these may be factors that can impact success, they're not the deciding or underlying factor.
Discipline is training. That's all it is. What is discipline? Discipline is training. If you change your mindset and really focus it on what discipline really is, you start to welcome discipline.
You're going to succeed in anything. It's hard to succeed, hard to hit a target when you don't know what it is. And as simplistic as this sounds, do most people really know what they want? At least not consciously, they don't. And so it's going to be very, very difficult to achieve what you want when you haven't defined it.
People often change their minds. People are emotional beings. Well, Pat, what should I put my focus into? Should I not trust people? I know I can control my effort. I can't control everybody's effort. I can control my attitude. I can't control everybody's attitude. I can't control me keeping my word. I can't control everybody keeping their word. I can control me not changing my mind all the time. I can't control people changing their minds all the time.
No one talks about the when you're holding on to a vision that no one else gets. That you're the only cheerleader for that vision. You're the only parade for that vision. And that doesn't mean stop parading and stop cheerleading for the vision. It means continue parading and continue cheerleading until other people can understand the sound of your voice, until one more person joins the parade. You might be the only person parading in your parade for a long time. Still parade. Still cheerlead. Still march.
Well, I want to talk to those of you that are working toward your dreams. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, it's leading to the thing that you dream of doing. And you're not going to progress until you get the skills and the experience that you need at the level that you're at. So if you're frustrated with where you are right now because you've got these big dreams and you think you're really far away, ask yourself, what is it that I am learning? What's the skill that I'm honing? What am I learning that I'm going to take with me on my journey to do that next big thing?
It's an awesome time in history to be authoring our own futures in real time. Any one of you right now could use the internet to become an expert in any subject at all. Never in history have there been fewer barriers in the way. No matter where we come from, what our parents did for a living, how much money we have, we all can be unqualified successes. So who do you want to talk to? Where do you want to spend your time? What do you want to learn? So now it's your turn to go on offense. What are you curious about? Where do you want to travel? What adventures do you want to go on? Which fears of yours do you want to tackle?